Well, welcome to Orlando. Welcome to IID 2018. My name is Russell Hall, and I'm the current president of the SID. And on behalf of our co-hosts, the ESDR and the JSID, the SID would like to welcome everyone to what is to be, we think, at this point in time, and most certainly will be proven as the week goes on, the largest and most successful gathering of investigators of skin biology and dermatology that has ever occurred. We would especially like to welcome all the first-time attendees. There are a number of people, greet them as you see them, who are attending for the first time from all over the world. We have visitors from South America, Canada, Europe, the Middle East, the Asia-Pacific region, and this is indeed the 21st century of investigative dermatology, a worldwide effort. So I'd like to welcome you all to this wonderful meeting to get us started. And at this point in time, I'd like to call to the podium Dr. Michel Gillet from the ESDR, who will welcome you.
So, on behalf of the European Society of Dermatological Research, I would like to extend my warmest welcome to all of you attending the IID 2018 in Orlando. This is the event we have all been waiting for. With its 1,621 submitted abstracts, the meeting will feature the best and most innovative skin science from around the world, and will also celebrate the recent accomplishments of dermatologic research in medicine. But most of all, this meeting will celebrate the sense of community and collaboration that our societies have developed over the years. It is the feeling of global scientific community and inclusiveness that we want to embrace and transmit to you during this meeting. Thank you for coming to Orlando, and please help us to make these 3 days a memorable event. Thank you.
And at this time, Dr. Akamishi Morita from the Japanese Society.
Good evening. My name is Akimichi Morita, and I'm the current president of the JSID. On behalf of JSID, I would like to thank the SID and congratulate them on planning the wonderful meeting in Orlando, the home of Disney World. And first of all, I'm really impressed by the wonderful scientific program, and I'd like to express my great respect to the scientific committees from the SID, ESDL, and the GIC for their hard work for preparing the program. I'm sure that all the participants will enjoy this IID 2018 scientific meeting. For this meeting, many researchers from Asia and Oceania, other than GSID members, were also involved in the review processes for the meeting. This IID meeting will be the final one in the current format. The International Society for Basic Dermatology, the ISID, has launched, but more hard work is needed to fully establish the ISID. Without the success of IID 2018 and the effort of SID, ESDL, as well as other investigative dermatology society, the ISID would not exist. I hope that this IID 2018 meeting will be truly fruitful for all the participants. Please enjoy the meeting. Thank you.
Well, before we proceed with the rest of our opening ceremony, there are a few housekeeping issues that we'd like to take care of. We once again want to welcome all the first-time attendees. This is a very important event in your history and a very important event in our history, because this keeps the societies going, and you will be the future of what we see in investigative dermatology going forward. There is the app. Everyone has an app, so get the app. The instructions are in your book, in the program booklet, and we'll tell you how to do it. It will be very helpful in finding location of sessions, setting your schedule and finding out what is happening going on in the meeting. There is continuing education material available, and please make sure you look in the booklet to find that information available for you also. There is a social event. This will go on no matter what the weather, and it will be an event at Harry Potter World, and I think it will be something that will be exciting and adventuresome for all. There are still tickets available. If you would like to go, check the registration desk, and this will be occurring tomorrow night. And again, CME, and we'd like at this time to thank a number of people, both from the ESDR, the SID, and the JSID. With the board of directors and all the officers would like to thank the many staff members from all of our societies who have done so much to make this work. The ESDR staff headed by Thomas Florestan and his team, the JSID staff headed by Yusoko Mitsuaka and their team, the JID staff with Elizabeth Blaylock and Sarah Forgan and Anita Judd, as well as the whole SID staff who have done so much. Robin Cipoletti, Stephanie Flanagan, Deborah Kovacs, Becky Manello, Jim Rumsey, and Wendy Tollerman. Believe me, this meeting would not have occurred without them. When you see them in the hallways, thank them all for everything they've done to make it such a great meeting. This is a really important meeting for the IID. As Akamishi said when he was talking before, this will in fact be the last IID meeting. It will be sponsored only by the SID, the ESDR, and the JSID. In 5 years when we meet again, it will be the ISID, the International Societies of Investigative Dermatology. This will be a meeting sponsored by all of the dermatology organizations throughout the world. And the ISID is a realization of our understanding that skin biology is active and flourishing around the world, throughout Asia, across the Middle East, and North, South America, throughout Europe. The ISID will be the instrument for bringing together the community of investigative dermatology and skin biology, functioning together as one unit to advance our knowledge and advance the care of our patients with skin diseases. At this point, we thought it would be appropriate to go through a little bit of history about what has gone on with the IID over the years. In 1985, the JSID and the SID held a joint meeting of our two societies in Washington, D.C. That meeting was so successful that a year later, the ESDR and the SID met together in Geneva. After those two meetings back to back, it was decided that it was clearly important for all of these societies to meet together in one tri-society or tri-continental meeting. And this meeting occurred in 1989. And ever since, every 5 years, the three societies have gotten together, pledged not to have their own meetings, but rather only to meet as a community to advance science and the science of dermatology. So in 1989, if you think back, there was Tiananmen Square, the Simpsons were gone, something that has persisted throughout time, and the discovery of the hepatitis C virus occurred. While that was going on, we had the first tricontinental meeting in April 26th through 30th in 1989 at the JW Marriott Hotel in Washington, D.C., and 927 abstracts were submitted for that meeting. In 1993,
okay, it's Micro Windows 3.1 is released. And the genetic bulk is in the settled, and also Cochrane Library and Cochrane and Collaborative started with the express the purpose of using high quality information to make health decisions. The second tricontinental meeting and was held from October 28th to 31st in 1993 at the Kyoto International Conference Center in Kyoto, Japan. 638 abstracts were submitted to the meeting.
(1998). That was the year where Google was created by, as a project, a research project by two PhD students at Stanford. And since then, you know that Google has grown from a small project into one of the world's largest tech brands. Another highlight of the year is the release of the first Harry Potter book, entitled Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by the British author Rowling. The Harry Potter franchise is now worth over 25 billion US dollars. And we are going to have a taste of it tomorrow at our social event. In the same year, the Nobel Prize was awarded to 3 US scientists who discovered the role of nitric oxide in the regulation of blood pressure, neurotransmission, and immune function, including cutaneous inflammation. In 1998, the third IAD meeting was held in Cologne, Germany. Local president was Thomas Creek, and the SCR president at that time was Richard Camp from the UK. 1,391 abstracts were submitted.
In 2003, the year was marked by the explosion of the spaceship Challenger. The Lord of the Rings made its appearance, and the SARS epidemic spread throughout Asia and was an area of intense interest throughout the world. The investigative dermatology community gathered in April at the Fontainebleau Miami Beach Hotel, where over 1,279 abstracts were submitted as the community gathered for its IID 2003.
In 2008, Barack Obama assumed the US presidency. The economy goes into the Great Recession, and the reprogramming sales was the science breakthrough over the year. The fifth IID meeting was held again at the same venue in Kyoto. Professor Shinji Shimada was present, and 1,353 abstracts were submitted to the meeting. The meeting was very, very successful.
In 2013, highlights of the year included 2 hot apps for smartphones. One was the Angry Bird, and the other one was Candy Crush. I'm sure all of you know what I'm talking about. On a more scientific note, 2013 saw the adaptation of the CRISPR gene editing technique to eukaryotic cells by Feng Zhang from the Broad Institute, and this technique has now entered research practice and is now routinely used by labs throughout the globe. At the same time, the 6th IAD meeting was held in Edinburgh, Scotland, from May 8th to 11th of that year. 1,523 abstracts were submitted and over 300 travel awards were granted. The local president was Irene Lee. The SDR president at the time was Alexander Enck.
And so we come back to 2018. Once again, and we gather together at the Shingle Creek Resort. This year, a record-breaking over 1,600 abstracts were submitted. Over 300 travel grants were granted to people throughout the world to attend this meeting, and we have an exciting meeting going on already, and one that will have continued excitement. Over the coming years, however, we will have more excitement as we look forward to the ISID and look forward to what's coming along. At this point in time, we'd like to take a moment to talk about what the highlights are coming up for this week. We have 9 named guest lecturers, 3 rising star lecturers that will occur right after this ceremony, plenary sessions, e-poster sessions, come see my poster sessions, mini symposiums, associated group programming, and as you've heard before, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Now, we have had some problems with the weather. Despite his attempts to do so, Jim Rumsey and Becky Manillo have not been able to control the weather, and we will be having our welcoming ceremony inside, right outside these hallways, and it will be exciting and fun, but it will not be subject to the rain, so that's a good thing. And we'll make a decision on the collegiality pool party for the residents and the young investigators on Friday at the time. So this is a history that we've had that we are all participants in, starting with the meeting in Washington, D.C. to the Shingle Creek meeting. Lots of people have participated. We'd like to thank all the organizers of those meetings and ask anyone who was an organizer of that meeting to stand, as well as anyone who attended one of those first 3 meetings in Washington, Kyoto, and Cologne, to please stand and be recognized for their contribution over the years to IID. So please stand if you attended those meetings or were an organizer. I think the most exciting thing is to see how many people have joined our group since then, and we look forward to continuing the growth of investigative dermatology through the ISID. Nothing demonstrates the future more dramatically than the young investigators that are present. As a result and a representation of that, we'd like to call to the podium by each of the societies the young investigators who receive travel awards and travel fellowships to attend this meeting. Michelle?
So I would like to invite the awardees from the STR to step forward and come to the stage. So based on merit, so the ranking of the submitted abstract, the STR has given 64 travel awards of 1,500 euros each to young investigators from many countries, including the UK, Germany, Switzerland, Hungary, Austria, Sweden, Denmark, France, Italy, the Netherlands, as well as Israel. Please come onto the stage.
So join me as representatives of the ESDR is planting the ESDR flag. So join me in a round of applause for all of these young investigators.
Just come up to the stage. Yeah, it's a possible. Oh, go ahead. Can I? Yes. It's the next in the JSID. The JSID granted then 89 travel award to IID 2018 and attendees. And now, and 4 researchers from Australia, 19 from China, 48 from Japan, 1 from Philippines, 6 from Korea, and 6 from Singapore, 4 from Taiwan, 1 from Thailand, and 2 from the United States, and 1 from the Vietnam. So, and we granted 10 on the 89 travel awardee from 10 countries. Please come up, and all the travel awardee from JSID come to the stage. Yeah, please.
So finally, from the SID was able to award 116 travel fellowships this year, with a special emphasis on awarding fellowships for those attending from Canada, from Central and South America, including Mexico and Brazil, as well as those from the United States. So at this time, would the recipients of the SID travel fellowships come and just come right in front of the stage. And we'd like to get a picture of all of the fellows.
So many people. No, they're going down.
So as the final fellow recipients come forward, I think this is a graphic representation of the future of our societies. We are bringing together numerous young physicians and scientists from around the world to ensure the future of the ISID and of investigative dermatology. So as we start this meeting, I think it's a great symbol of the future of our societies and the future of investigative dermatology. So please join me in a round of applause for all these young scientists and for the start of IID 2018. So on behalf of the ESDR, the JSID, and the SID, thank you for coming. We launched this IID 2018 with enthusiasm for a week of collaboration, a week of scientific discovery, and a week of celebrating the future of investigative dermatology, skin biology, and the advancements in the care for our patients. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're done. At this time, I'd like to invite to the stage Dr. Nicole Ward, Dr. Chris Griffiths, and Akimishi Morita, who will continue with the Rising Star Lectures. Welcome to IID 2018.